This is a $10 million check. To exchange it with notes, it's required to overcome the height of 150 meters. If not careful, people can fall down the deep abyss. This life betting game is just a pastime for a bunch of tycoons. The worse those poor people become, the happier those tycoons are. Hearing this, normal people can feel frightened. They are not afraid of, but they have no money, thus they don't have choices. To increase the level of difficulty, the organizer even adds electricity into a bridge. The players have to wear shoes and go on it. Kaji looks at the bridge, he immediately thinks of an idea. He takes out a black pen and draws a line in the middle, aligning the line to coincide with the center line of the bridge. Everyone starts drawing the line. Kaji steps on the steel stick, trying to fight with the afraid inside. It's too high, if falling down, there is the only way, death. The sky is darker. Thunder and lightning began to rise, the wind blew. Everyone becomes panicked. The number 01 player slips and hits the steel stick, falling down. The number 06 touches the steel stick, getting the electric shock and fainting. The number 04 player is fallen due to the wind. The number 05 player wants to return the old path, as a result, he falls with the number 07 player. It begins raining, there are only 3 people left. The number 03 uses all his strengths to break his legs, stepping ahead. Kaji bravely goes forward, but he can't put up with the man wearing glasses behind him. He takes out the check, begging Kaiji to give it to his daughter, then falling. Kaji and the number 03 player encourages each other. Finally, they all arrive at the destination. But when the number 03 player opens the door, the pressure between the inner air and Theo outer air blows the number 03 player fallen. The more hopeless thing is that the award of that man is not available. The dead person's award is just a normal people. At this time, the chief tycoon decides to give Kaiji a chance. This is the reward money. If wanting to get this, he has to win a game. The rule is likely the chess game. Each side has 5 cards. One side is 1 king card, 4 resident cards. The other side is 1 slave card, 4 commoner cards. 2 sides will take out a card. If it's the same, they will be fair. The king card wins the commoner cards, the commoner card wins the slave card wins the king card. The king card has a big advantage. The slave card just has 1/10 ability to fight against other cards. To earn money for the man, Kaji has to take risks to choose slave cards. The first and second round, 2 sides all take out the commoner cards. They have to wager in the third round. Kaji takes the slave card, but the facial expression of looking forward to the king card is realized by the enemy. The enemy takes out the commoner card. Kaji loses this round. The enemy laughs at Kaji, telling that he knows mind reading. He knew that Kaji took out the slave card and he would stretch his body forward. The opponent grinned loudly. The tycoon picked up a glass of wine and threw it in the opponent's face. He said he should have let Kaiji win a bit, forcing him to bet his finger or heart. The tycoon lent Kaiji 39,000. If losing, he has to clean up for his company for 130 years. He immediately takes out 3 commoner cards. In the thinking moment, he realizes his opponent was not looking at his card and his expression but just staring at the table. Kaiji plays a slave card, the opponent's smile fades. Kaji was supposed to win, and suddenly the opponent made a creepy smile. The guard takes him away. Kaiji discovered a problem of his opponent. The opponent's watch can measure Kaji's heart. Thanks to this, the opponent can predict the cards he tended to play. Kaiji used the excuse of going to the toilet, borrowing money from Rinko, who escorted him. He has a plan to win. After it succeeds, the money will be split 5-5. Rinky used to be a colleague of the opponent, and after he promoted, he looked down on her. This is a chance for her to collapse the opponent. The tycoon agreed to let them play another match. Kaiji smacked his head against the mirror, banging until his head was torn from bleeding. Kaiji puts 3 commoner cards on the chair, turning the slaves and commoners upside down on the table. While everyone is listening to the tycoon, he secretly changes the slave leaves on the table to civilian leaves. This action is witnessed by the opponent. Kaiji angrily blew blood from his wound onto the card. Because Kaiji is too agitated, the watch could no longer track heart rate. Kaiji cleans the blood in the table. The game starts. The first game, they are fair. The second round, Kaiji plays first. The opponent detects that Kaji's cards have blood. It proves the card is a commoner or slave one. The opponent decides to play the commoner card. It's another fair round. He knows that the next card is the slave card. Now, Kaiji plays a card with blood. The opponent plays the commoner card again. But in the moment of putting the card down, he becomes hesitant. Kaiji had secretly changed cards before, so the bloody card was probably 2 common cards. He is sure of victory, beating the king card. But when Kaiji opens his card, it's a slave one. Because Kaiji knows that the opponent won't pass any details, thus he detected Kaiji change the card. But in fact, Kaiji just pretend to do it. The opponent lost, being stripped of all his status and rights by the tycoon. Kaiji won the reward of $5 million.